Hello and welcome to this screencast where I'm going to show you how we can use OpenRefine and the GOKb extension we've built for OpenRefine to get data ready to import into the GOKb database. So the first thing we're going to do is to bring up the OpenRefine interface, which is a web-based interface, and I see a list of projects which people are working on in GOKb at the moment, and these can be checked in and checked out so you can work collaboratively on projects if you wish to. Today I'm going to start from scratch, so I'm going to create a new project from a file that I got from the Elsevier Science Direct website. So I'm going to import that file into Refine. I'm going to give it a name that that follows the GOKb naming convention, and I'm going to make sure that we get the right character encoding when we import, and then I'm going to create that project. So the first thing I see when this project is loaded into Refine is I see a list of errors and warnings down the left hand side here. At the top we see that we have 7 errors and 15 warnings. The red errors will stop me importing the project, so I don't get an option to import the project until all of those errors are cleared. And the warnings are things I may want to investigate but won't stop me importing the project. So let's just deal with some of these red warnings first. For instance, there may be a missing column. In this case, for instance, the tip URL column is missing. The tip URL is the URL of the journal title within the platform. And if I look in the file, I can see there actually is a column that contains that information, the title URL column. And so I want to rename that column. Each of these red warnings has a little spanner icon when I mouse over it, and that offers me a quick fix for that. And in this case, one of those quick fixes is to rename a column. So I can rename the title URL column to tip.url, and that now has done that renaming for me. So I can do that also with the other columns, but there's several to work through. Luckily, one of the things that OpenRefine lets you do is share kind of changes that are standard, and this is a KBART compliant file, so we know what all the column titles are and what their GOKb equivalents are. So I can actually use a list of transformations that's already on our GOKb wiki to do this. So if I just apply those changes in one go, then close that down, and then that renames all the columns, and that's got rid of several error messages, but a few more have come along, because as soon as a column's renamed to something that's recognized by GOKb, it can start checking the data within that column, and in some cases it's finding errors there. There are still a few columns that GOKb expects which are missing, and I can add those through the quick resolution, and I'm going to want to populate those as well, which I'll do in a minute, and we have errors that relate to the lack of data in those columns. If I go and, for instance, want to add the host name, the platform host name, sorry, so this is Science Direct, I'm just going to do that quickly. And there are different ways of doing this, but in each case you need to look up the name of the platform from GOKb. You can't just create a new platform on the fly, because we want to keep the platform's names controlled. So here's a platform name for Elsevier Science Direct. So I'm going to choose that, and you can see it fills in that not just with the name but also with an ID, so it matches up uniquely against that platform that already exists in GOKb. And if I apply that, then that will fill out that column with all of those with the same value in each case. I do that for the package name and the publisher name just very quickly. Same kind of approach. The only difference really here is that while you can't create new organization names or new platform names directly from Refine. You can create a new package name from Refine if you want to. So if the organizational platform is missing, you have to log into the GOKb web interface and do it there first before you can look it up in Refine. So all of these are published by Elsevier, and you can see that we also have lots of variations on the Elsevier name, and it would find any of those if I search for them as well. So I don't need to, if it was a variant for that name, then I would still pick it up. So things like abbreviations and that kind of thing are picked up. So that's all fixed now, and we still have a few errors left. These can be fixed as well. So firstly, the coverage depth. If I look at the coverage depth column, I can create a facet to see what values are in there, and I can see they all say full space text. Now, if I look at the error, it says I must follow the KBART guidelines for coverage depth, and I know that actually that requires it to be full text without the space. So I can correct that, and that corrects all of those in one go. And that error has disappeared now. Correcting the date of the first issue in the package is straightforward. I can attempt an automatic conversion, and that corrects them all. And now I'm left with one final error. This one's a slightly more difficult one to fix because the dates are not in a consistent format, and we can see even here that we've got some that are month dates and some that are specific dates. And the dates for the last, unlike the dates for the first issue, the dates for the last issue, we may want to use the last day of a year or a month rather than the first day of a year or month. And using the first day is the default behavior in Refine, so we have to kind of work around that. So first of all, I'm just going to create a facet that will allow us to see the different date formats separately. So I can do that just by having a facet that tells me the length of the value in each field. So here we can see I've got 76 that are 10 characters in length. That will be the full date. 14 that are 4, that will just be the year, and 199, which is 7, that will be the year and month. And again, luckily, to convert, for instance, a year to the last day of the year, somebody's already worked out how to do that, and I can see that here, dates formatted like 2012. I can just copy that transformation, and I can do that here. So transform and say OK, and that's those all done. And I'll want to do the month and year ones as well. So that's the month and year, and then finally the ones that have the full date is a simple transformation, which I can just type. And I think one of the great things about Refine here is that some of this stuff is very straightforward, and you can easily do without much experience of Refine. Some of the more complex things that you might need to do are you can share with others once you've worked out how to do it. So now we've cleared all those warnings, and we've got a valid project. Cleared all those errors and got a valid project, and we can use this now to import into GOKb. There are still orangey yellow errors or warnings that we could investigate, but none of those will stop the import going ahead. And so that's how you use Refine to get the data from a supplier and get it ready to import into GOKb. Thank you very much.